I know this is going to sound shocking. But welcome back to the Uintas, guys. This is only my second foray solo in the Uinta Mountains this year. 2021, it was every weekend. Very few get-togethers. 2022, my car broke down. I didn't get out very much. But this year, it was like I'm getting out every weekend. And I have almost all but one. I got out with Joe, my buddy Joe. I got out with Nicole hikes a lot and Tim eats a lot. I got out with my kids. I got out with my kids and their friend. And I got out once by myself. 2 weeks ago, I was supposed to take a solo trip. And I got home from work Saturday morning and I fell asleep and I didn't wake up till like 4:30 in the afternoon. I had been pretty sleep deprived and I guess it all hit me at once and I didn't go. I ended up going on a hike instead on Sunday. So this is going to make up for that trip that I didn't do, going to the place I planned on going that I never went. This was actually supposed to be a get together with my buddy Joe. We were gonna hike up to a lake a little higher up, but Joe messaged me earlier in the week and said that he wasn't feeling it, a lot of stuff going on. He was gonna sit this one out. Understandable, he lives in Boise, 7 hours from here. So I need to get out. It's my only night off the entire week. Should be fun. We're gonna have us an adventure. When I got up here, it was raining, actively raining. Not pouring, but coming down pretty good. You can see those dark clouds. So I sat in my car for about a half hour and it blew over. It usually does, but when it comes down, it can really pour sometimes. So I didn't want to hike in it. Hopefully, this is moving on. It's hard to tell, it's hard to predict, but we can take shelter if we need to. Just dive under my tarp or something. So our goal for camp, I believe if I'm looking at this right, is up at the top of those cliffs right there, or maybe some cliffs over this way. Not too far, but far enough to get away from people. Most people are hiking out today. So, spoiler alert as to our destination, that right down there is a lake without a name. I don't know if you can see it through the trees. I'm not going to hike down there because I've already shown it in another video. We are on our way to Hope Lake. I don't know if we're going to camp at Hope Lake, but it's right at the top of these cliffs right here. Last time when I came up here, I thought, well, is this Hope Lake? And I found out it wasn't, and I kept hiking and found Hope Lake, which is beautiful. So I'm going to call this one, since it has no name on Google, I'm going to call it False Hope. And we're going to go on to Hope, and we may even go beyond Hope. Depending. There's one really good campsite up there, and if it's taken, I might keep hiking. Even if it's not, I might keep hiking, because I want to see what's past Hope, what's beyond Hope. So, False Hope, Hope, and beyond Hope. I don't always like to go to the same places more than once to make a video, but every adventure has its own feel, its own vibe. So it's different every time, even if you go to the same place. I don't know if I want to camp at Hope Lake again, just because I've already done it. We'll see when we get up there, see how I feel, and see if anyone's up there, if anyone's on that lake at all. I'm gonna keep going because the lake is not big. It's beautiful. I took some stunning pictures of it last year in video. If you want to see my last Hope Lake adventure, I'll link it down below. Here's a better view of False Hope Lake. wildflowers are like fireworks. Pretty impressive, even this late in the season. Sorry about my shadow. How's that? There you go. This is Hope Lake. And my campsite is just over there. There's another one across the way. Hate to be redundant. I might just take it though. These flowers are incredible. Basically this campsite would serve as our base camp, because I plan on doing some hiking either this evening or tomorrow morning early. This is where I was last year. So if you've seen that video, this might look somewhat familiar. It's a bit overgrown. I think it'll do right here on the shore. The benches were here. Good for cooking on. And it reminds me, I forgot my camp chair. I knew there was something, there always is. But last year, those cliffs were taller because there was a lot less snow to melt. And this year, we had a record winter. So I was hiking quite a bit further out to get my water. Welcome to Hope Lake again. Falls Hope down over the cliff, Hope Lake. If you want to see all the views around here, check out the link below. I already covered it. Beyond Hope is that way. But right now we gotta figure out where to put my hammock. I've given it some thought and consideration. As much as I like this campsite, I'm looking at the distance between the trees for my hammock, and these two are 20 feet apart. These are too close together. We're right on the lake with, potential for thunder and lightning. Planning ahead, I think my better bet is my second choice, the other campsite across Hope Lake. It's further away from the trail as well. A lot of people step off the trail over here like I did to take pictures, and that's fine. But as cool as this is with the cliffs behind me and everything, I think my better bet is further back in away from the lake. I know a campsite over there. So I haven't unpacked anything. My pack's still sitting here. I just cooled down and drank some water. So we're gonna hike around the lake over to that other spot. Shake things up anyway. We may be at the same lake, but we don't have to camp in the same spot. Compared to last year, it's very weedy. I don't remember it being so weedy. And I cooked over here. I think I had a fire. I don't know. The water's a lot closer than it was. My tent was right there. My blue tent, my other clip flashlight too, that I've since had replaced. So the campsite we're looking for is going to be over in those trees over there. I did some exploring the last time I was here, so always good to have an alternative. That pond wasn't there last year. It's not very buggy. It's only about 55 degrees, so I'm kind of relieved. Cut across this stone field last year. These are the cliffs over here, and we're going to go around that side. That's the notch, and that's where most people are headed, I think. This is an entire loop. I've mentioned it before in other videos, but we may or may not go up there tomorrow. Probably not tonight, but depends on how I feel in the morning. But I would like to explore Beyond Hope and check out what this is all about. I haven't been over there. Just as a refresher, my last Hope Lake trip, it's much deeper this time. These are the cliffs. You know what's funny is that this actually has a name. And False Hope Lake doesn't have a real name, and it's bigger than this. It's kind of funny. I don't know who's in charge of naming them, but it seems kind of silly. So now we're at the far end, and the campsite that I'm thinking of is right over here. It's a lot more secluded. There won't be people marching by night and day while I'm trying to camp. Yeah, this is it. I think last time I came up through here. So here's our campsite, plenty of firewood. That's good. I may not even have to gather any. This is more effortless. I'm pretty tired. I need some rest, so this will all help. I'll clean that up. And I think my hammock will hang okay in here, probably over this way. Got to be careful. There are a lot of widowmakers, and I've seen a lot of them laying on the ground that weren't here last year. Like this one. This was all open. So that winter was really hard on the dead trees. They're all over the place. All right, let's figure out where the hammock's gonna go. Okay, my friends, things are set up. I haven't really cleaned up the fire pit yet, but I'll get to it eventually. But here is the hammock setup, camp setup. What I did is I pretty much anchored the hammock to the ground on the back side, and the front can easily be lowered if we get a significant storm. So far these dark clouds have just been breaking up and blowing over, but you never know up here. So the sun comes and goes, that kind of thing. To raise this up, I braced it with this pine branch, and I used my hat to protect the material and also to anchor it so that it has some tension there and it won't come loose, because I don't have any more paracord than what I've already got with me. I anchored some at the back, and there's paracord holding this to various trees. I forgot stakes, so that's my bad. And I've got a bear line hanging in a tree over there. So that's all the paracord I brought. So I had to get creative. It's pretty solid. It could blow back this way, but it's still anchored to the hat, so it won't like hit me or anything. It's just to give it some lift. And underneath here I've got my food, my cook station, my sit pad. You know, most of what's in my pack, it's not heavy, but it's bulky, and it's mostly the hammock setup. So there's bed for the night at Hope Lake. I'm probably going to have to adjust the under quilt. It's a little too far one way and not far enough the other way. But this is alright. Closer to the ground this time. I like to hang high, but I think this is good. Looking around, finding a place to hang the hammock was kind of rough. There's a lot of deadfall on the ground, and there are a lot of dead trees everywhere. So I picked the best spot I could find to block from the wind, and also with the least likelihood of a dead tree killing me in my sleep. It's happened, not to me obviously. I'm not Jesus or whatever. It's been a long week, a long work week. This is my only night off, and this is how I chose to spend it. And so this was my one chance to get out before working another 6 days in a row and taking care of my kids. So my only concern, these clouds are looking pretty dark. There was only a 25% chance of rain up here, but it's so hard to predict what's going to happen up here. In 2021, I was up at Jewel Lake, much higher than this, and I got stuck in monsoonal downpour with thunder and lightning, and I thought I was a dead man, to be honest. I didn't film how terrified I was, but I was pretty scared. I actually packed up and hiked out in the pouring rain. It was better than laying there and waiting to see what happened. So hopefully this blows over. I don't care if it rains, it's the thunder and lightning that bothers me. So I am kind of on a slope, so if it does rain, it'll probably pool on my hammock and run under my or pull on my tarp and run under my hammock. Hopefully this just keeps doing what it's doing. Big dark clouds, and they just move on. They haven't rained, they haven't sprinkled, there's been no thunder. It's been very peaceful, so I'm hoping that it stays that way. Right now I'm going to catch up on a little bit of sleep. I'll probably take a couple-hour nap. We started hiking in here at 1:25 in the afternoon. I had to sit in my car for half an hour and wait for some rain to pass, like I said, and it is now 4 p.m. So we got up here about 2:40, so it only took me an hour and 20 minutes to hike up to this lake, and most people are hiking up to the notch or heading out because they came up last night, Friday night. Should be an enjoyable experience. Appreciate you guys coming along. I do appreciate all the views and the kind comments. I'm exhausted. I'm just so tired. Maybe I'll just lay down for an hour, and then if I'm hungry by then, we'll talk about dinner. Don't know if I will be, but I can at least, we can talk about food, what I brought. That's it for now. Well, it's only 4:30. I was laying here kind of dozing and finally drifting off to sleep, and two guys hiked all the way around the lake, and one of them was bragging to the other one about what a cool campsite this is and how it's kind of secluded and no one really knows it's here. And then I'm laying here listening to this conversation because they were talking really loud, and they came over the hill and they just fell completely silent. I intentionally got up, took my shoes over to the log by the campfire, and sat there where they could see me, and was putting my shoes back on, and they just stood there and stared like, really? Yeah. First come, first serve, dude. Anyway, it's amazing how you can be out in the middle of nowhere and people will still walk through your camp. So I don't know if they're gonna camp on the other side at the cliffs at the other campsite or not. I hope not. I don't see them. But they just pretty much, they didn't even say hi. They just stopped talking, turned around, headed back. So, sorry to disappoint you guys. It happens. I've been disappointed too. I've come to some of my favorite sites and found it occupied. Bummer. And now I'm hungry after laying there and relaxing, and then those guys waking me up, and a couple of squirrels running through my camp and up and down the trees. My stomach started growling. So here's my snack bag and my lunch bag. Dinner is something different, but in my snack bag I've got basically two different kinds of trail mix. This is some peanut butter, a peanut butter Cliff Bar, blackberry jam. These are from MREs, obviously. This is some wheat snack bread, which is for the peanut butter and jelly if I want it. I don't think I'll have that right now. I've got a fig bar, which is basically a fig Newton. This was in a civilian MRE that I got. I'll probably eat that now. I'm not a huge fan of fig Newtons. I've never liked them, but my kids won't eat them, so I guess I will. Some vegetable crackers, unfrosted toaster pastry, brown sugar. Again, I got a few of these. They're not bad. They're not bad. They make a good breakfast. For lunch, I can do the PB&J. I can do this tuna and I've got some tortillas from an MRE. And then the rest is just some drink packets like this. One's caffeinated, the other two are pink lemonade and strawberry lemonade. And just a little kit for freshening up, a napkin, some wet wipes, that kind of thing. That's all that's in there, and I think I'm gonna eat the fig bars. It's very, very crumbly. Let me see there. It's Smells like Fig Newtons. So the plan this evening is just to have dinner and a fire and relax and hang out. A lot of it might not even be on camera. I came up here to chill, and that's what I intend to do. That's not bad. It actually tastes really fresh. Calories, 200 calories in this. And today so far I've burned 671 calories. Not just on this hike, I burned some of that at work, so. I keep dropping these, and these squirrels will probably appreciate it, but the storminess has mostly blown over. It's still there, but it's just doing the same thing. I haven't even felt a drop from the sky, so. You know, when you're hungry, anything tastes good. If I go to the grocery store, I would never buy Fig Newtons. I know some people really love them, and I can't stand them. You know, when in Rome, they taste actually pretty good because I'm so hungry. I think what we'll do, I'm gonna have one other small snack, probably a tropical fruit and nut trail mix. And then I think we'll walk around. I want to see what's over this way behind us. I have no idea. I've hiked around this lake before, but not really gone beyond here, beyond hope. I keep making that joke, it's kind of dumb. Anyway, so we're gonna have some peanuts and raisins and chocolate covered, or yogurt covered raisins, I think. Want some? And then we'll go check some stuff out. I'm starting to hear thunder over this way. So we're leaving camp. It's really dark over there, but I don't think that's coming this way. Most of the stuff I've seen has come from over there and just blown through here. And where I'm hearing the thunder is over that way. So I think we're okay. Yeah, it's pretty dark over there. And there's the notch. And then I think that's Mount Watson. One of those is Notch Mountain. I'm not sure if it's the left one or the right one. This is what's behind camp. Kind of a little indentation. Look at all the dead trees. A lot of these are this way because of a beetle, a certain beetle that's infested them. So that's what's behind us, and right down there, straight down, that is Wall Lake. The last backpacking trip I went on with my boys, by now you've seen that video. That's where we were, down there. So it's a pretty good hike from there up to here, but it doesn't look that far. In fact, straight across is the actual wall that people jump from. So if I kept going that way, I would run into people eventually. Or heck, they just find me, don't they? There's camp from the back. Wind's kind of picking up. I wouldn't mind some rain. I just don't want the thunder and lightning. Beautiful view of the notch right there. When I got here, the wind was coming from that direction, blowing all this over. But now it's actually blowing into my camera right now. And that's where the thunder is. Hopefully that just rumbles a little and blows over. It's pretty dark. I mean, it doesn't look endless. It kind of cuts off over there, but makes me a little nervous. I have kind of some PTSD from that trip to Jewel Lake. It's such a beautiful area, but man, I was just trapped in my tent. No one knew where I was. I was the only person up there. It wasn't pretty. By the way, since then I've made sure someone knows where I am, so my family knows, my kids know where I am right now. And I even told a couple of coworkers, so we're good, we're golden. I don't have a woman in my life to worry about me, so I have to dump it on my kids. The hikers have been pretty steady along the trail over there across the lake. There's a couple of them there. It's just been a steady stream. When I was hiking up, there were a couple of groups of like 20 people hiking out. I had to get out of their way. There were so many people together in one group. Yeah, it's blowing right in my face right now. I don't need any fireworks, nature. When I was sitting in camp, I could hear frogs down in here. I don't think there are fish in here. I was mistaken the last time I was here. But I do think there are tadpoles and frogs. And there are even some breeds of salamander up here that I've seen in some of these lakes. And I think the frogs are down in that swampy, grassy area. You can see me safely tucked in over there. Wind's really picking up. I think it's pushing this into us. Better head back to camp. Well, Mother Nature's being very finicky. The sun is out. It's sprinkling. And those dark clouds, they seem to be just kind of moving along that way. They don't seem to really want to be coming this way, and the wind has died down, so there's the sun. Mother Nature, go home, you're drunk. Well, that's about all the exploring I feel like doing. Hopefully you enjoyed that little montage. We have about 2 hours till sunset. It is almost 6 p.m. So here is tonight's dinner. This is the very last one of these that I have. It's a military MRE. It is menu number 9. Number 9? Number 9? If you know the Beatles, you know that. Most annoying thing they ever did. Freaking John Lennon. Anyway, MRE, meal ready to eat, individual, warfighter recommended, warfighter approved. I've been eating a lot of those civilian MREs, and they're kind of all the same. I have no idea what's in this other than beef stew. So, where's my knife? There's my knife. All right, it's in the sheath. Don't worry, I didn't just cut my hammock open. Actually, it's my son's hammock. He just lets me use it. I don't see the point in buying one if we've got one kicking around the house. It's just a brick. It doesn't weigh much. This is not one of the heavier MREs I've encountered. Some of you military guys are probably more familiar with this than me. The reason I got the civilian MREs and have been focusing on them and not these as much is these things for a case can be anywhere from $150 to $250 online. And the civilian MREs are only about 50 bucks a case. So that's why. Just couldn't afford it. I remember just a couple years ago, you could get a case of these for like 70 bucks. Not the case anymore. All right, so we have the main entree. This is beef stew. I mean, I'm sure it tastes good, but it really is kind of, there's not a lot in there. So I'm gonna try to use the heating element on this. If you've followed me for very long, you know that I usually just fold these, stick them in boiling water, let them heat through that way, because the heating elements, I've had bad luck with them working. So we will try. We will try. Followed by multi-grain snack bread. I showed you in my snack bag I already have wheat snack bread, so. But this will go well with the beef stew. That makes sense. I have some hot sauce. I don't think I'll put that in beef stew. Who puts hot sauce in beef stew? Grape carbohydrate electrolyte beverage powder. Grape Gatorade. Oh yes, they did. They put one of my favorite things in this MRE, and that is the lemon poppy seed pound cake. This is amazing. It's one of my favorite things ever in an MRE. So I'm pretty happy about that. Honey mustard and onion pretzel snack mix. That actually sounds quite delicious. Blackberry jam. Better come with peanut butter and not cheese. It did. It came with peanut butter. See, some of these snacks I didn't need to bring because it was already in here, but I didn't know that, which is why I have a surplus of MRE snacks at home. There's my spoon. I did not pack a spork because I knew there'd be a spoon in this MRE. Here's our accessory pack. It's got coffee, gum, creamer, toilet paper, matches, sugar, a moist white towelette, and that's about it, and a packet of salt. So the usual stuff that's always in these. And that's it. That's all that's in that MRE. That's why it didn't feel as heavy. I might actually grub this whole thing tonight. I don't see why not. I've got plenty of snacks. I've got stuff for lunch tomorrow and breakfast. And I mean, I'm not gonna eat the PB&J with dinner. But the rest of it, I could see drinking the Gatorade and having the muffin and all that stuff. So here's the heating element. This is the beverage bag if you need it. I never use these. So anyway, let's see if this thing works. Let's take off this top tab to fill it. If you don't know, between these two lines, do not overfill. You will make the bag explode. This will trigger the heating element, in theory. This, I don't know if I got a bum case or what, but all of these heating elements wouldn't work. And if it doesn't, we'll just use the tried and true pot method. Yeah, that's just right. Here's our main entree. And you roll it up. Kind of let the water hit the element. You use the little cardboard sleeve with the nutrition information on it to tuck it into. I'm not feeling any heat at all. I'll let this sit for a little bit, but it's supposed to heat right up. I think I got a bum case because my buddy Joe bought some of these and his worked immediately. We'll just wait. That's all we can do. No idea if that whole segment just filmed or not, but the heating element was in there for about 10 minutes and it's barely warm at all. It's supposed to heat right up and really do a good job, but it has not. So we're gonna throw the main entree into the cook pot with some water and just let it heat that way. It's starting to rain pretty good on the tarp, but it looks sunny out here, so I'm all kinds of confused. Fill it about halfway. Don't want floaties, because if I use the water for anything else, I don't want the forest in my drink or something. Tuck it in there like this. The civilian MREs don't even come with a heating element. I guess you're expected to eat them cold. You stupid civilians, eat your beef and barley stew cold. Alright, we're just gonna let that, the water doesn't, the water doesn't have to boil. It just has to get really hot, and then we can turn it off and let it just sit in there. It's not really raining as hard as it sounds. It's just pretty steady drizzle on the tarp. It's not nearly as, I mean, it sounds like it's really coming down, but I'm looking around and I even stepped out. It's just kind of drizzling. Hopefully that's all it does. And then we turn it over like this and we let it sit. We don't have to heat it back up. The water's already hot enough, so. There we go. Just a few more minutes. Way more reliable than those heating elements. Okay, I think it's been sitting in there long enough. It's actually super hot. It's almost too hot to hold. Alright. Got the old spoon. Here's what we're looking at. It smells incredibly like Alpo dog food. Ow! Kind of looks like it, but I bet it tastes better. Mmm. That tastes just like Dinty Moore stew, the canned stuff. I mean, the meat chunks are genuinely meaty. They don't taste like processed pressed meat food product. Really good. Multi-grain snack bread. It's shaped like bread because that's what it is. It says what it does, and it does what it says, in theory, hopefully. We'll find out. You know you want some of this. The food, too. Oh, yeah. That's actually quite good in the stew. You could even crumble this into the stew and just eat it like a bread stew. It's sweet. The bread is sweet. It's sweeter than like a pizza crust. It almost is somewhere between regular bread and like a dessert. It's really sweet. Hear that? That is the sound of no more rain and blue skies and sunshine. I kind of like the moody weather. I just don't want the lightning and thunder. Okay, I like thunder. I don't want lightning. Lightning's not my friend. All right, we're going to dig into the honey mustard and onion pretzels. Honey mustard pretzels. I've had onion too. Doesn't smell like anything. Yeah, it does. Vaguely. Oh, it's these. You can buy these at the grocery store. They're like pretzel bites. These are awesome. These are even better. It says do not eat. Don't believe it. Delicious. I used to buy these all the time for my lunch at work. I'd easily sit down with a big bag of these and just, Mom. I'm feeling a lot better now that I've eaten. I didn't realize how hungry I was. Got some nutrition in me. So much better. And finally we have the grape Gatorade. It says to add it to 12 ounces of water. And I'm pretty sure I still have, this is 50 ounces in an entire bottle. So I probably have more than 12 ounces in here. But my little cup here has measuring thingies in it. That's the technical term. Measuring thingies. I'm doing it all, man. I'm doing all the hard stuff on this camp out. I'm holding nothing back. I'm destroying this MRE. I missed. Okay, most of it went in there. I'm gonna have to do something about that because we can't have sweet grape smelling stuff on the ground with animals running around. Man, that sucks. I poured a whole bunch of it in the, half on my shoe and half in the garbage. Alright, let's see. If it's watered down, I dumped way too much. Yeah, it's pretty watered down. That sucks. And blows. Okay, at this point I'm getting pretty full and I still have the pound cake. Do I pound the pound cake? Do I have it for breakfast? I think this would be amazing for breakfast. That's what I'm gonna do. Pound cake for breakfast. Alright, so I think I'm done here. I'm gonna clean up my mess on the ground. You're lucky you can't see it right now. I mean, I could show you, but why? And then, I don't know, I'll figure out what we're gonna do next. But all of those clouds have blown over. I think the night should be pretty peaceful. What happens up here is these little storms blow through all afternoon. Overnight, sometimes they drizzle, but mostly they clear out. And then in the morning, it's usually pretty clear, and that's when I think we'll go for a hike. Storm's gone. That's all that's left. It's all blue back there, no clouds. So it all went that way. There's Hope Lake glistening in the sun. It's beautiful. I have another video I need to film up here, so I'm probably gonna do that. And I brought I've always been a journaler. Not consistently, but it's been like the entire summer since I've written anything in it, and I've got a lot on my mind, so it's sort of therapy for me. And before that sun gets too much lower in the sky, still got about another hour and a half. What time is it? 6:53. Yeah, about 8:30 it should go down. I just want to be able to jot some feelings down, some thoughts, and kind of reflect on some stuff. That's why I come up here. It's a great way to reset my stress levels and feel alive again and feel like a whole person and not just a dad or just an employee or just a friend or whatever role I play in different people's lives. This is just me. Usually a good 24 hours out here, and now all of this is enough to just make me feel sort of brand new again. So that's what I'm going to focus on for now. I'll come back in a little while and we'll talk some more. Definitely going to hang out by the campfire. We got plenty of firewood. Well, as you can see, the sun has gone behind the mountain. We're in the shade. It's cooled off quite a bit. I just had to put bug spray on. The mosquitoes have come out in force. They really haven't been bad all day, but suddenly they are. So I'm over here getting ready to start a fire. I got the pit cleaned out. And I'm wearing a beanie and a puffer coat. I don't really need the beanie. It's not that cold. It's cool, but the bugs were all around me, so it kind of helped to put it on. I do have a bug net. I guess I could put that on. But anyway, it's campfire time, and the smoke will help clear out the bugs too. One good thing to look forward to tonight, I think, is the Perseid meteor shower. Is that how you say it? It's visible every year at this time in August. It's supposed to peak tonight in the early morning hours of Sunday, which is tomorrow. So about 2 a.m. tonight, there's going to be quite a meteor shower display. I'm thinking tonight I might try to see some, but I'm pretty sleep deprived, so I don't know if I'll stay up that late. I don't think this camera will pick them up. You know, it's so dark out here. There's no light pollution at all that I don't think I would even be able to film it. But it's something I can look forward to tonight, hopefully. The fire lit just fine, and I'm a lot warmer and more comfortable. The bugs are gone. So here's hoping for a peaceful night. Also, in case you're wondering, there's my bear bag up in that tree. I should probably mention that if you check out my other Hope Lake series that I did last year, maybe it was the year before, can't even remember, The whole purpose of it wasn't to come up to Hope Lake and talk about Hope Lake. There was a gentleman who disappeared up here. He was 70 years old, 70 something years old. His name was Melvin Heaps, and he was never found. He came up here for a day hike, and they searched for him and never found him. So he passed away up here. I think it was 2018. So when you watch those videos, you might be kind of surprised that that's really the gist of the videos, was a missing persons case that I was trying to follow. It's not quite 6 a.m. I'm sleeping really well, and I just got woken up by a coyote. Not in camp or anything, but he's not very far away. He's yelping, trying to find his people, I guess. It's the only time I've heard him all night. You can see the sun isn't up yet, but it's almost 6. It was a lone coyote, and he was over that direction, just on the other side of Hope Lake, probably near the trail. So he's not very far away, but he's all by himself. It wasn't a pack of coyotes, it was just one. So this still had a hot spot, and I've been working on it with my bellows to kind of get the fire going. Sure, a lone coyote wouldn't be happy about a campfire. I can't really sleep anymore. I figure this will give me something to do till the sun comes up and keep him at bay. Beautiful morning so far. It was a cold night. I'm gonna have to start bringing my thermals up here. I didn't pack any. I think the temperatures are now starting to push the limits of my gear. My overquilt is a 30-degree, and so is my underquilt, and that's a survivability rating, by the way. So yeah, I survived the night. I was warm and comfortable most of it. I slept in my down coat as well, but my lower body got kind of chilly here and there, and I had to pretty much sleep with my head underneath my quilt most of the night. It took off pretty good. There were just a couple of embers in the bottom still glowing, and so I took advantage of it. Anyway, I'm just going to sit here around the fire and warm my bones and enjoy sunrise. Getting a lot brighter out here. Just been enjoying the warmth of the fire, the comfort of it. And I think I'll go get the bear bag. It's not 100 yards away from camp like it's supposed to be, but close enough. Maybe 50. I don't know. Maybe not even that. You can see it right there in the tree. That's our grub, still safe and sound. And there's Hope Lake in the morning. Like I said, if you want to see more about this lake, check out the links I put down below. Much more intensive exploration of this area and a discussion about Melvin Heaps and his disappearance. But right now, I gotta get that down. This may not seem like much, but it's always amazing to me that I started one little Espit tablet on fire last night, and this fire has been faithful ever since. I got the spark going, and as long as I fed it a substantial amount of wood, it's just kept going. Like through the night, I let it die down before bed. You know, I climbed in bed and that was that. And when I woke up this morning to my alarm clock friend, I noticed some tiny little embers still burning in the bottom of the fire pit. So I got out my pocket bellows and blew on them. And there were the flames, brought it back to life. And I just started feeding the fire again. It's that way with anything in life. It's that way with your passions or hobbies that you sometimes are fired up about and then they kind of wane and die down. You have to keep feeding the fire and keep blowing on the fire and get it going again. It's not going to do it by itself. I mean, it could, but it would be a freak accident. But it's like our relationships in life too. You have to keep blowing on the fire. You have to keep adding to the fire, or the relationship will dwindle and eventually just go out completely. One little Espit tablet has kept me warm all last night and this morning. Pretty amazing. I actually have my coyote friend to thank, because this is about when I wanted to get up so that I could get the day going. I don't have all day, so the earlier the better. And I'm not a morning person. There was just one coyote, and he went off just enough to wake me up, yelped and howled, and then he went silent. It kind of made me sad for him, because a lot of times what they're doing is trying to find others like him, because he's all alone. So he yelps and howls, and he got no response. Kind of sad. Anyway, he did it once, and it was enough to wake me up. And it didn't scare me or anything. If it was a pack of them, I'd be worried. A little nervous. They've been known to take people down, but you know, this isn't Jeremiah Johnson getting attacked by wolves. This is just Me and one coyote out here. Anyway, I think the plan today is just I'm gonna have some breakfast. We'll talk about that in a minute. And then we're gonna hike beyond Hope. I brought a little foldable backpack and we're gonna put some gear in it that we might need, and we're gonna see what's beyond Hope. Anyway, the first thing on my mind this morning is this trans fat free lemon poppy seed pound cake. I'm pretty excited about this. These are really good. There's another one they have. I think it's a spice cake, and it's okay. It's super dense and makes you really thirsty. Just as I remember. There it is. Oh yeah. See, it looks dry. It's actually got some good moisture to it. It's so flavorful. It's funny how your tastes change as you grow up. When I was a kid, I couldn't stand anything with lemon in it. I wasn't even a fan of lemonade. Lemon bars, everyone went nuts over lemon bars, and I was like, whoa. But as I've grown older, I've learned to appreciate lemon everything. Out here eating lemon poppy seed pound cake? Yes, please. This isn't enough to sustain me, so I'll probably have a little something else too. I think from here I'm going to let this kind of peter out. I'm going to remove some of the logs, give it less fuel, and let it kind of die down so that when I go hiking, this isn't sitting here burning. Looks like it is going to be the Pop-Tarts, guys. Between this and the lemon poppy seed pound cake, breakfast of champions, I should be good. Here's what's inside the wrapper, another wrapper. I've shown these before. This is a brown sugar and cinnamon Pop-Tart that is unfrosted. It comes in the civilian MRE. There's two of them, but they're always fused together, and rather than pull them apart, I just eat them like this. And then I'll have something to drink, and we'll start cleaning up this area and getting the fire to go out, and we'll go on our hike. It's not bad as Pop-Tarts go. So here's the situation. This is my garbage bag. I always bring an extra Ziploc or two to throw my trash in. And the other one is what's left of my food. This is, you know, the tortillas, the tuna, the peanut butter and jelly. There's snack bread in there, and also some trail mix, and there's still plenty in there. There's a Cliff Bar. I'm going to throw that in the bag here. I'm going to take it out of the Ziploc. I'm going to use the Ziploc to scoop up some lake water and put on what's left of our campfire. I pulled the logs out that were still burning. They've got a little smoke coming off of them. I figure that's the easiest way to put water on the fire without using my drinking water. I wish I had another Ziploc so I wouldn't have to dump these, but I can just dump all this in here and put that in my little backpack. You served me well. Now go to sleep. Whole gallon of water. I'll probably do a couple more of those before I leave. There's a small leak on one side, but it did its job. Just as I was putting out the fire, my 7 a.m. alarm went off. My real one. Not my coyote one. But the sun came up right at the same time. So like 7 a.m. on the money. The sun has risen. Oh, our fire's out. And I've cleaned up. camp should be left alone. Here's what I'm gonna do. Since this video is a lengthy one, I'm gonna split it into 2 different videos. Video 1 will be this camp out. Video 2 will be the hike we take beyond Hope Lake. So, my friends, it has been a fun adventure. Stay tuned for another video from up here on this very same trip. Do yourselves a favor. Get off the couch. Get outside in nature and have an adventure. The views, my friends, are spectacular. And if you can't get outside, if you can't get off the couch for whatever reason, come along with me. I could use the company. We'll see you in the next video, guys.